Welcome to the dark side of the ring. Tonight, we are going to talk about the infamous Montreal Screwjob. But before we get to that, let us discuss the very first Montreal Screwjob that happened 60 years before 1997. Henri Deglaine versus Ed Strangler Lewis. Henri Deglaine had a match with Ed Strangler Lewis. He was trying to go for basically a snapmare. And then Deglaine starts screaming out because he is shown to have a bite mark on him. And that leads to a disqualification, and Deglaine is the winner. But Ed Strangler Lewis himself, believe it or not, no, crap. Guess I kind of ruined the mood. But you know what? This is uncensored, unfiltered, uncut. Nothing gets taken out. So, hope everybody's doing well, by the way. But Deglaine already had a bite mark on him from his trainer. And that was May 4th, 1931. And as Jim Cornette says, it's as old as the hills in wrestling. It just goes to show you that nothing ever truly changes from history. And as far as the Montreal Screwjob, if it being a work or not, and just being a long storyline that people just wanted to make you believe, I honestly don't believe that. Because in a time where pro wrestling is more exposed than it's ever been in its 125 years, why? I ask you, why would you keep this one story why would you protect it as much as you can? Why? That makes no sense. And Bret Hart was really depressed from this Montreal Screwjob, from getting screwed in Montreal to having to go to WCW and coming as a referee and just feeling terrible, along with his wife. You know, both him and his wife were very down. And luckily, Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart, they managed to squash the beef. In fact, 12 years later. But of course, before that, Shawn was at his highest, ironically, both in drugs and in his egotistical attitude. And Bret wasn't having it. Nobody was having it. So, obviously, Bret Hart, just wanted to, he just really wanted to beat up Shawn. But at the same time, he was willing to keep him protected and not actually, hurt him, not shoot on him. Despite the fact that Shawn would say that, I won't do the same for you, even though he also thanked him. It's like, wow, what a backhanded compliment. Hey, I'm gonna keep you safe. Don't worry, I'm not gonna hurt you in the ring. Oh, thanks, but don't think that I'm gonna do that. But I'm not gonna do that with you. I'm not gonna be safe with you though. But thanks for keeping me safe. So can you blame the guy that Bret, would be like, I wanted to kill Shawn? Can you blame him for that? I mean, again, who didn't want to kill him? But, this is not a Shawn Michaels hatred video or whatever. This is not bashing on Shawn Michaels. I'm just saying this is how he was considered to be in the 90s. So, obviously, the Montreal Screwjob happens, and Bret, the plan is, just like with Deglaine and Ed Strangler Lewis, but with the difference being that obviously instead of a bite mark, Bret Hart puts Shawn in the sharpshooter. No, wait. Shawn puts Bret Hart in the sharpshooter. He uses his own finisher. And the referee just randomly rings the bell. Ding, 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 ding. So they can take the title away from him. So, yeah. That's how it happened. They said, when Vince McMahon was like, well, how would you do it, pal? Cornette talked about that story of Deglaine and Ed Strangler Lewis and said, here's how it's going to happen. Shawn is going to use Bret's finisher, and they're going to ring the bell. And still to this day, Earl Hebner has, I think, almost like, has like a fear of Canadians ever since Survivor Series. And still, even after 1997, and I think still to this day, people are always like, you screwed Bret. You screwed Bret. And when he came to Dark Side of the Ring for the interview the first time, he thought that they were out for revenge. I mean, when he rang the bell, and you can see him, he rang the bell. He got out of there as fast as he could. I mean, Cornette beat him even though Cornette did beat him to the building, who was also running away as fast as he could. It was just a crazy moment where tempers flared. Bret Hart just, you want to talk about one punch, man? That's all it took. One punch. Boom. And Vince McMahon is flying after Bret, got screwed. And, it's definitely a moment that's still talked about to this day in wrestling. And I honestly don't know. Who knows, if the screw job is a work or not. I don't think it is. I mean, sure, Scott Hall said it was, and obviously the Sports Illustrated, all the big-time wrestling fans say it is, but a lot of people will tell you otherwise. So, that's all. What are your thoughts about the Montreal Screwjob and or Survivor Series 1997 and or the Dark Side of the Ring episode of it? Let me know in the comments below. Have a nice day.